Hello everybody, this is the lab you've been waiting for. You actually are going to extract your DNA, your real DNA, from your cheek cells. How cool is that? So not only are you going to be learning how to extract your DNA today, but you're going to be making a necklace out of it that, of course, you get to take it home because you're already home, but you can give it to your loved ones, just letting them know what you mean to them by giving them your DNA. So this is really cool. You'll see that it's so simple to extract your DNA and to actually make it visible. Yet this is the same basic techniques that are used in high-tech biotech labs. We can extract DNA from pretty much anything. At home, you could do it not only from your cheek cells, you could do it from strawberries, from onions, you name it. You can extract out DNA. But in high-tech biotech labs, you might be extracting DNA from salmon, which is what I used to do. You could extract it from dogs, cats, people, you name it. And it's the same basic idea. So what you're going to need to find from your lab kit is this bag that says DNA necklace. And this basically has everything you're going to need to extract your DNA and make a necklace out of it. Now, let's go through what the parts of this are. You're going to need to get in full PPE for this lab, so we'll do that in a sec, but you're going to need your lab coat, you're going to need your lab goggles, and you're going to need gloves. So let's see what's inside your kit. Okay, so one of the things you'll find in your little kit here, your DNA necklace kit, is the pink stuff, and that will say Celllysis solution, so you're going to need that. You'll have a 15 milliliter cap tube. We've seen these before. A little medicine cup, that's to spit in. A pipette. A little tiny tube here. This is actually what you'll be putting your DNA into to make a necklace. And a little bottle of ethanol. Now, before we get started, we're going to need to stick this ethanol in the freezer. You want it to be ice cold, and in fact, you probably should take it out of its container here, out of this paper. So see this dark paper here? Just take it out of that, and you have a little bottle of ethanol, 70% ethanol. Don't actually open it yet, just go stick it in the freezer. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to get into my PPE. You do the same, and I'll see you in a minute. And we're back. We got our PPE. Really the only reason why you need this is because of the Celllysis Buffer and the ethanol. You don't want that splashing in your eyes. You're going to need to also wear your lab gloves. I'm out of the lab gloves. I'm very restricted to what kinds I can wear because I'm allergic to most kinds. So do as I say, not as I do. Wear your gloves. So anyway, you're also going to want a little bit of drinking water nearby because you're going to need to swish. So what we're going to do is we're going to be extracting cheek cells from the inside lining of your cheeks. And almost all of the cells in your body, with the exception of your red blood cells, these cells each have a nucleus in them, and that nucleus contains your DNA. And in fact, it contains all the DNA, all the genes that's required to make a clone of yourself. Well, we're going to be getting enough of this DNA out to actually be able to see it, to make it visible and grab it and make a necklace out of it. So cool. Well, so how are we going to do that? Well, the first thing we're going to do after we chomp these cells down, we're going to swish it around in our mouth with just a little bit of water for a minute. And then you're going to take that swished solution, which is going to contain the cheek cells, and you're going to spit into the medicine cup. And from there, we're going to add 2 milliliters of the Celllysis Buffer solution. Now, what the Celllysis Buffer solution is doing is, like the name says, lysis. It's going to lyse the phospholipid bilayer, the membrane around the cell. So it basically contains a detergent. And if you've ever washed grease off of pots with dish soap, you know that that detergent is going to help to break up that grease and clean it. And so this Celllysis Buffer, or lysis solution, which contains a detergent, is going to basically lyse the phospholipid bilayer on the outside of our cheek cells. Good, we need to do that because we are aimed to go inside of the cell, inside of the nucleus, and extract out that DNA. So we're going to break through the cell membrane, and then it's going to also lyse through the nuclear membrane, the nuclear envelope, because that also is made of a phospholipid bilayer. So once we've broken through the cell membrane, it'll break through the nuclear envelope, and boom, now you have free floating DNA inside the solution. So we're going to then be taking our DNA after it's had a chance to sit for about 2 minutes, and we're going to pour it into the 15 milliliter tube and let it sit there for, another 2 minutes or so. And then we're going to be taking ice cold ethanol that we just popped in the freezer, and we're going to be using that to precipitate out the DNA in the solution. And then we're going to grab that DNA, stick it in our little necklace tube, and make a necklace out of it. Now, maybe your kits came with it. Mine did not. You'll just need to get some kind of string like embroidery floss or a chain to wrap around this to actually hang it on your neck. But okay, so let's get started. My ethanol is getting nice and cold. You want to make sure it's ice cold before you do this. And now all we're going to do is we're going to, in fact, this actually you can measure out. It has milliliters here. You just want 2 milliliters. So 2 milliliters on here is not much at all. We're talking about just the bottom of the thing here. Okay, so just 2 milliliters. So I'm going to pour in 2 milliliters of drinking water. It doesn't have to be exact, but you want it pretty close. You don't want too much water, otherwise your cheek cells will be too dilute. So I got about 2 milliliters of water here. Now you're not going to swallow it. We're going to swish it around our mouth and meanwhile gnaw on the inside of our cheeks. And don't swallow anything because we're going to have to spit it back out. But you're going to want to do this for a full minute. So I'm going to take this in. I'm going to do my swishing and chewing, and just to get you started, let you know what exactly I'm doing. And then I'm going to pause the thing until my minute is up, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so here's what it's going to start off like. And when I go like this, that means I'm going to pause it. Nasty. Okay, so that's a full minute had gone by. I swished, I gnawed, my inside of my cheeks feel kind of raw now. You don't want to get blood out, just make sure you're kind of getting all those fresh cells out. And now all my cheek cells are in there. I'm going to set those guys down for a sec. Let me show you what I'm doing here. And then now I'm going to take the Celllysis Buffer solution. So this is the pink stuff. Raw cheeks. And at this point, you definitely want to be wearing gloves, your lab coat, and your goggles because this stuff's a detergent. You don't want it splashing in your eye. So again, make sure you're wearing gloves. And you don't want to shake this, but you might want to swirl it just a little bit. If you shake it too much, the bubbles will come out, so you don't want that. Okay, so you're going to open this up. And you want 2 full milliliters of this. So notice that on at least the pipette that came with my kit, the top line is 3 milliliters. You probably can't see that. You want 2, which on mine, the 2 is right there. So just be sure to check your pipette because you might have a skinnier pipette than I do. But for me, 2 milliliters is right in the middle. Okay, and remember how to do this. You squeeze it, stick it in the solution, slowly draw it up until you get to 2 milliliters and then kind of stop squeezing so that you hold it there. And now you're just going to transfer it directly into the medicine cup. Okay, and if you keep this squeezed, you can even use it to stir a little bit. Okay, and squeeze it out. Now you're going to want to let this sit at the table for 2 minutes. That gives time for the lysis buffer to dissolve the membranes, the outer membrane and the nuclear membrane of the cells. So I'm just going to set this down on the table for 2 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to pause that and I will be right back after 2 minutes. Okay, so now my cheek cells have been mixing with that lysis buffer, just sitting there for about 2 minutes. Now I'm going to take my 15 milliliter tube and I'm just going to pour the contents in the medicine cup into the 15 milliliter tube. Just try not to spill it. Again, you guys should be wearing your gloves. Just try not to spill. Pour it in there. Okay. Yummy, yummy. Okay, so that gives me a total of about 7 milliliters of stuff in there. Okay, so that's in there now. And now comes the fun part. This is where we actually are going to precipitate out the DNA. And we're going to do that with ice cold ethanol. So make sure that ethanol has been sitting in your freezer for a good while because you want it to be ice cold. If it's not ice cold, it's not going to precipitate the DNA very well. So mine's been sitting in there a while. And I'm just going to let this sit for a little bit. You can get another empty glass if you want. I got an empty glass sitting here, so I'm just going to use this just to hold this and keep it from spilling. So I'm just going to sit that there for a sec. And I'm going to go get my ice cold ethanol from the freezer right behind me, so I'll be right back. Okay, so here is my ice cold ethanol. You might even want to have a cup of ice on your table to sit this bottle in if you're going to take a while. I'm going to be pretty quick here, so I'm going to move quick. Just a reminder, this is ethanol. This is 70% industrial ethanol. It is not drinkable. Do not drink this. It actually contains toxins because it's industrial. You'll see the warning labels on the side. You also want to be careful. This is very, very strong and it is volatile. So there will be fumes coming up from this. So you want to make sure you're not standing over it. You don't want to be breathing in these fumes. So you want to make sure you're in a well-ventilated area and quickly cap the bottle after you've used it. So don't leave this bottle open because it will evaporate and these fumes are not good. Okay, you're going to need your pipette again. And the trick here is we're going to have to take our tube that holds our cheek cells and turn it at a 45-degree angle with one hand. And you're going to end up using about 13 or so milliliters, just enough to basically fill this until you get enough precipitation. And you're going to want to take your strong hand, I'm a lefty, so I'm going to hold it here, and take that ethanol and you're going to very slowly drizzle it down the side of the tube, holding this at a 45-degree angle. So the technique is actually really important. That's going to make a difference. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to just fill up my pipette with the ethanol. Again, you should be wearing gloves. I'm going to do this really, really quickly. And you don't want to have kids or anything around while you're working with this stuff. I'm just going to very quickly fill up my pipette with this. Okay. I'm going to cap this back, put it to the side. Now I'm going to take my tube, hold it at a 45-degree angle, and just very slowly drizzle it down. And what you'll see is that the ethanol will stay on the surface. It's less dense. It'll stay on the surface. And just keep doing it down there. You may right away start to see some DNA threads. Okay, there's one. I'm going to actually keep doing this till I get pretty much up to the top right here. So I'm going to have to, if you want to put this down, you can just be very gentle. You don't want to mix this stuff too much. So I'm going to very gently set mine down while I get another pipette full of ethanol. Okay. And again, it'll probably take you about 4 pipettefuls to get enough of this done. Okay, I'm going to do it again. Again, very gently. Drizzle down the side. I can already see all of my stuff. And actually, this is probably only going to hold maybe one more. But I don't know if you guys can see this. I can already see in mine right at the barrier between the border between the ethanol, which is sitting at the top, and the rest of the solution, which is at the bottom. You start to see webby, stringy stuff. That is pure DNA, and that's what we're going for. But again, don't mix this up yet. I'm going to see if I can do another maybe half pipette full of ethanol. You just kind of want to fill it up at the top. It's not an exact science. Okay, so I'm going to pull this back. Okay, and again. And I'm going to go ahead and fill it up pretty close to the top. Okay, so again, I can already see my DNA, and I don't know if it's going to show up in the camera. You can kind of see right there. You'll see some stringy stuff. You guys see that? See my DNA there? It's so cool. You see that floaty, webby, white stuff there? Now, I'm going to take the cap, and I'm going to put it on tight, and I'm going to invert this 5 times just to make sure that the DNA is in contact with the ethanol. So to invert this is the scientific way to invert, to mix things. You're going to put your fingers on the top and bottom, and 5 times slowly we're going to mix this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to do it one more time. 5. All right. So that gives and you start to see little strings moving up and little ribbon-like things. That is your DNA. So now we're going to want to set this. I'm going to set it just in that same empty glass. I happen to have my pipette resting there. That's fine. I'm just going to put it here and let it sit for 10 minutes. Okay, just let that stuff sit 10 minutes. That will give you 10 minutes to let this DNA precipitate out. And then we're going to come back and actually take that DNA up and stick it in our little necklace tube and make a necklace out of it, which we can wear. So I will be back in 10 minutes. See you then. Okay, 10 minutes have gone by, and how cool is this? Let me see if I can get this in the mirror. Do you see, I mean not the mirror, the camera. Oh gosh, I hope you guys can see this. It's so cool. Hopefully you're seeing it on your own right now. I don't know if you can see, but kind of right in the middle, I have a big, huge glob of DNA. It looks like a big cloud floating in the middle of this tube here. Can you guys see that? I don't know if you can see what I'm looking at here, but it is so cool. There you go. You can see that right there. It's really hard to film things in a camera. Okay, anyway, just take my word for it. My DNA is floating right here. You'll see it on yours. Big clump of spider webby, whitish looking goo. That is pure DNA. Now think about this. Pure DNA, no cells around it. That is just the DNA that was in the nucleus of the cells. You got rid of that nucleus. It's just DNA, a big, huge clump of it floating around here. Now each of your cells has maybe as much as about 3 meters of DNA packed into its nucleus. Now the height of a doorknob is about 1 meter. So imagine 3 times that, all packed into the nucleus of a single cell. Well, you just took lots of nuclei because you had lots of cheek cells, and you just extracted out the DNA from inside of that nucleus, those nuclei. And it's so cool. You can see it with the naked eye, and now we're going to take it out and stick it into our little necklace tube here. So here's how you want to do this. Again, you want to be wearing your PPE here because you don't want ethanol splashing in your eyes. Just very gently, without doing too much mixing, take the tube up, and now use that same pipette. Make sure it's good and squeezed out. You're going to want to squeeze it, stick it in as close to the DNA as you can, and then try to pull up just the DNA. Like, it's okay if you get a little bit of the liquid, but try to pull up just the DNA, and we're going to stick that into the tube. So let me see if I can get my DNA. There it is. And it kind of self-sticking, so it'll start sticking to itself. Ooh, yeah, you see that snotty looking stuff? That's DNA. Okay, so I'm pulling up as much as I can. And now you're just going to very gently, with as little liquid as possible, squirt it into your thing here. And because the lysis buffer has a little bit of pink dye to it, you might get a little bit of a pinkish tint. So let me see if you guys can see that. You see all that kind of clumpy stuff in there? That's my DNA. And to think, that contains all the genes in your entire genome. So theoretically, there's enough of your genes in here, all of the genes of your body, to make it a complete clone of yourself. How cool is that? All inside your little soon-to-be necklace. So once you have it, you want to make sure there's enough ethanol associated with it, enough of the liquid, so that the DNA doesn't dry out. See if I give it a background, if that makes it. Can you see that DNA? It's that big clump of white stuff, kind of about right there. See if you guys can see that. That's my DNA. Just make sure there's enough liquid so it's suspended in there. And now you want to very gently cap this. And actually, before you cap it, depending on what kind of string you use, I borrowed some of my daughter's embroidery floss she uses to make friendship bracelets. I'm going to stick the middle of it kind of inside the edge here, and now I'm going to cap it. Make sure it's good and capped so it doesn't leak. And now I got my string. Don't choke yourself. However you want to tie it. In fact, I think I'm going to tie a double knot first. I made this kind of long string. You can use a necklace, chain. You can use leather string, whatever you like. Just make sure it's big enough to stick over your head or the head of whoever you're giving this to. And so I'm going to tie this. And now we have the latest bio fashion here. I'm wearing my DNA close to my heart, And again, you could give this to your loved one. What better way to say I love you than giving them your entire genome? All right, more nerdy fun, and be sure to take a picture of yourself wearing your DNA and put it on the discussion board. We'd love to see your genomes. Take care. Bye-bye.